Bound would be drinking beer. But you feel bad after you drink beer, you don't feel bad after you play music.
Yeah, everybody's feeling pretty good once the concerts begin. But as in all human endeavors, unforeseen problems lie ahead. From the beginning of this festival, it's been clear to everyone the most important thing on our plate is recording the Creole romantic music.
Because it is a recording of music that almost without exception has not ever been previously recorded, it will put us on the map with the mainstream musical community in a way that almost nothing else could. If the recording did not happen, it would mean a very heavy financial hit for the festival, because we have built our schedule this year around those recordings.
The problem is, when the recording engineers listen to the sound in the concert hall, they hear more than music. Alone in the basement, a huge air conditioner earnestly plays a long, droning song in the key of C, which stands for cool, something rare and valuable in Hot Springs during the month of June. If we're going to do any recording in here, the air conditioner must be silenced.
I had to meet with all of the building staff and find out from each of their separate standpoints what it would take just to shut the stuff down. And for a while, we were told that it would not be possible. It would literally not be possible to shut the things down. We encouraged them to continue researching the options, and eventually were able to come to a solution.
Now, she just has to sell it to us, the mentors.
We have very few options and alternatives, and we have been up most of the last night trying to figure out the best of those situations. We believe we've come up with a workable solution. It is not an ideal solution. What we are going to need to do is to shift our recording sessions to a late night format. The days would go from, and don't faint now, 2 in the afternoon till 2 in the morning.
When Laura told me that we were going to have to move the sessions from the afternoon to 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., I practically exploded. I didn't think anyone would go along with this.
But this is a really unusual opportunity for us, and I was actually prepared to go in there and do heavy-duty persuasion and convincing, and then I didn't really need to.
It looks almost better, actually, than the other one, but I have just one suggestion.
It might have decimated us completely. This would have been our last festival. And I think the musicians were aware of that and have certainly come to the rescue.
Now, when are we going to announce this to the apprentices?
What do you mean, we?
Man, this is not going to be easy for anyone. The mentors accept it, mainly because we really believe in what Laura and Richard are trying to do. And hey, it's a festival. It's supposed to be intense. But for Christine Rutledge, a viola mentor, the decision is not so simple. She has someone else to consider. Her infant son, Jake.
Yeah, there you go. That was a real beaut.
He's been staying with his dad during the day, but he needs her late at night.
I usually don't break down, but it just seems it's
of course
a huge shock.
My first reaction was a purely emotional one. And I knew that if I had to come and not get sleep and record in the middle of the night, that I couldn't produce breast milk for him.
It's not important to us that the mentors play in everything.
I was shocked and amazed that there wasn't more reaction. I expected more people to just say, no way. The other music festival that I play in the summer, I would predict 100% that if this were said, that everyone would say, no, we're not going to do it, and the director would expect us to say that. Is it this particular blend of people?
Because they are who they are. Our musicians are chosen specifically by Richard on the basis of their adaptability. These are people who have unusual careers already, who have made some personal choices and some professional choices that we feel are the kind of values that need to be instilled in the next generation of musicians.
What you did is you went, da-da-dee, I am thinking this is very hard. Okay. As mentors, we're not required to teach lessons at the festival, but most of us do. Again, do it again, and just let your emotion get caught up. working with students performing at this level is such a joy.
Yeah, but just try it. Don't slow it down. Because first off, you're way high up, and you don't want to stay.
I'm trying to get Todd out of his comfort zone and then push him a little higher.
You know, there's the edge, and you're doing this. And what I'm asking you to do is to do. That's what you want, you know.
You have to grab people's attention from the very get-go. That's what he was doing. He was trying to keep me from being boring.
All that heat, just get pissed and just keep going.
One of the things that I learned with Kabin is first thing, you got to figure out something to say, what it is that you want to say, and then you got to say it. He never lets you get away without giving it your all and being sure that you're communicating something.
Yeah, right there. We'll cross to the E flat. Now up to the A flat.
We're trying to work on excerpt of Ein Heldenleben, Strauss' tone poem.
Now thumb on E flat.
It's a killer piece for bass.
There it is. Good. Try that once again. So you got 4.
And some of the licks in that are just nearly impossible. And what Jeff is trying to do is show me how to break it down into small segments.
So let's just practice E flat to A flat, slurring 2. There's not enough time in my entire lifetime to tell someone what to do on every note of every piece they're ever going to play. So what's the shortcut to that? Having them learn how to figure it out for themselves. And that, in essence, is, I think, the art of teaching. 2, 1. Great, great. I mean, you have the passage now. Sure. And that's one of the hardest, technically, in all of our literature. And we just discovered that really it's not as hard as we thought, because you have it all already, you've just never used it before.
Cool.
Isn't that nice?
Cool, yeah, it's really nice.
It was probably the best lesson, one of the best lessons I've had in the last 4 years.
I mean, I still see this pushing down a little bit. Yeah, do you understand what I mean? So what happens is that you're starting to, when this muscle comes down,
He identified certain problems I have just right away.
you start to lose the control here, and you start biting a lot. Once in a while.
He just has this aura of being such a professional and like knowing exactly what he's doing all the time that you have complete confidence in everything he says.
There's always someone better than you, always in the music field. When you come to a festival like this, you start hearing things in other people's performance level that you think, wow, that's so easy for them.
Great, John. It's really terrific.
For me, as a performer, I learn a lot, you know, because then I go, oh, I gotta really practice that, because they may kick my butt.
And it's a longer phrase than just da 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 dum ba ba da ba ba da 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 da, you know.
Suzanne's very unique. She's very professional. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, yeah. It's worth it to take it apart and play it slower. You're out in the hall.
I had a lesson with her, and it was really interesting.
You know, you have to really tongue hard somewhere like that.
I played some music that I'm going to be playing for a competition later this summer, and all the contestants have to play the exact same music.
No, you're rushing through here.
She had a lot of really neat ideas, things that I hadn't really ever thought about.
But definitely try to give some different moods instead of just a constant thing. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. It's like a dance. It has to have more... Okay. The physical aspects of playing an instrument are hard. And it is something that has to be repeated. Just calmly keep trying. So try it again and really restate it there. It takes a certain kind of person to be able to do that and not give up and become frustrated.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
the goal is to be through with the technical stuff in a way, which never really happens, but you know, in as much as possible so that you can be free and communicate music, you know? But music is hard because you're putting yourself out there. I mean, when you play, you're really expressing from inside of yourself, so you have to be pretty strong.
It takes its toll on your body, and you wouldn't think that it does because I'm not like running or jogging or swimming the whole day like athletes do, but I mean, musicians are like the athletes of the small muscles, and if you do this all day long, your hands are totally gonna freak out on you, and it hurts after a while.
When it hurts, stop. If you're practicing and it hurts, stop.
I'm so close to playing it perfectly. It's like I'm almost there and it hurts. Why don't I just do it one more time? It's wrong. One more time, it's wrong. And it never gets there, and then I get mad, and then
you're tense and nothing relaxes.
And everything's awful. I mean, I couldn't take a break from it because I had to learn this music, and it had to be perfect, and it had to be done on a deadline. And
may I make a suggestion? Is take a break anyhow.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
One of my teachers told me that you're only as good as your last performance. So there's almost no point in which you can just sit back and let it ride. It's always new, it's always critical, and you have to be on top of it every single minute. You can't, if you don't rehearse, if you don't practice for a day, you feel it. And today's a free day, but I'll bet that there are a lot of musicians who are spending 6 hours today practicing on their own.
I grew up in the ghettos of Detroit, Michigan, and I didn't get involved in classical music until I was 16 years old. Before then, I was in a gang. I sold drugs, I shot a man, and I was shot. I'm living proof that music has power because it changed my life. This is where it happens, in the practice room, alone, working on a tough piece. Just you and the music. It's a lonely feeling, but you need to have that. It's where you find your inner strength. I'm going to need it tonight when I play the solo. But first, Todd gets to show me up on the Alpha Clyde. I was very proud of Todd and what he accomplished in that short amount of time. He took it on with a good attitude, and that's the key to being successful. And now there's no one in the room but me and Richard and the music.
The most beautiful sound ever produced on the tuba is produced by Kabin Thomas. It resembles a human voice, and he did a beautiful job.